Henry Ford, the dark side of the auto tycoon. Welcome to our YouTube video on the fascinating life of Henry Ford, the renowned auto tycoon who revolutionized the automobile industry with his Model T and assembly line. While Ford's contributions to the automotive world are widely acknowledged, there's a darker side to his story that often goes untold. In this video, we'll delve into Ford's innovative achievements, his controversial views on race, and the lasting impact of his legacy on the Ford company. Join us as we explore the captivating tale of Henry Ford, the dark side of the auto tycoon. Ford's innovation in the auto industry with his Model T and assembly line. Early fascination with automobiles. Henry Ford's journey into the world of automobiles began with a deep fascination at a young age. When he was only 12, Ford encountered a primitive version of a horseless carriage, sparking his imagination and igniting his passion for machines. This encounter planted the seed that would eventually grow into his groundbreaking innovations. Creation of the Ford Quadricycle. As Ford grew older, his enthusiasm for automobiles intensified. While working as an engineer at the Edison Illuminating Company of Detroit, he tirelessly tinkered with machinery during his spare time. His dedication and inventiveness led him to construct his first self-propelled vehicle, the Ford Quadricycle. This vehicle, powered by a gasoline engine, marked Ford's first significant step towards transforming the transportation industry. Founding of the Detroit Automobile Company and the birth of the Ford Motor Company. Inspired by success with the Ford Quadricycle, Henry Ford pursued his dreams further. In 1901, he founded the Detroit Automobile Company to produce automobiles for the mass market. However, the venture eventually failed due to disagreements among the investors and challenges in meeting production demands. Undeterred by this setback, Ford persisted in his quest for success. In 1903, he established the Ford Motor Company, which would prove to be a turning point in his career and the history of the automotive industry. With a clear vision of producing affordable and reliable cars, Ford set out to revolutionize transportation. The Model T. Revolutionizing transportation. Henry Ford's most significant contribution to the auto industry came from the Model T. Introduced in 1908, the Model T was a groundbreaking vehicle that transformed the transportation landscape. Ford's ambition was to create an automobile that would be affordable for the average middle-class American. By utilizing innovative manufacturing techniques and streamlining the production process, he made the Model T accessible to many customers. Introduction of the assembly line and mass production. One of the critical factors that made the Model T affordable was Ford's introduction of the assembly line. Ford revolutionized manufacturing by implementing a system where each worker was responsible for a specific task, allowing faster and more efficient production. This innovative approach significantly reduced the time and cost required to build each car. With the assembly line, Ford achieved mass production on an unprecedented scale, transforming the automobile industry forever. Impact on American society and the enduring love affair with cars. The availability of affordable automobiles through the Model T and the efficiency of the assembly line had a profound impact on American society. Suddenly, owning a car became within reach for millions, significantly shifting how individuals traveled, worked, and lived their lives. The Model T became a symbol of freedom, mobility, and progress, capturing the hearts and imaginations of the American public. Henry Ford's innovation revolutionized transportation and sparked a deep and enduring love affair between Americans and their cars. Ford's controversial ideologies. Unfortunately, alongside his groundbreaking achievements in the automotive industry, Henry Ford held and propagated controversial views on race and religion. His anti-Semitic beliefs and writings have left a lasting stain on his legacy. Ford's anti-Semitic beliefs and writings. Henry Ford's anti-Semitic sentiments were well documented and publicly expressed. In 1920, the Dearborn Independent, a newspaper owned by Ford, began publishing a series of articles titled "The International Jew, the World's Problem." These articles espoused harmful stereotypes, conspiracy theories, and unfounded accusations against the Jewish community. The content of these writings displayed Ford's deep-rooted prejudice and contributed to the spread of anti-Semitic sentiments. Association with the Dearborn Independent newspaper. The Dearborn Independent served as a platform for Ford to propagate his anti-Semitic views. While initially focused on general topics of interest, it gradually shifted toward publishing articles that perpetuated harmful stereotypes and promoted a prejudiced narrative against Jews. This association further amplified Ford's controversial ideologies and had far-reaching consequences. Ford's connection with Nazi Germany. Germany's admiration for Ford's anti-Semitic stance. Henry Ford's anti-Semitic views found an audience far beyond the United States. Adolf Hitler and other prominent figures within the Nazi Party admired Ford's writings and viewed him as influential. Ford's anti-Semitic stance aligned with the Nazis' ideology, which promoted a hateful and discriminatory agenda. The Grand Cross of the German Eagle and Ford's acceptance. In 1938, the Nazi regime awarded Henry Ford the Grand Cross of the German Eagle, one of the highest honors bestowed upon foreigners sympathetic to Nazism. This recognition emphasized the alignment between Ford's views and the fascist ideology propagated by the Nazi regime. Ford's views in contrast to his wartime efforts. Despite his anti-Semitic beliefs, it's essential to note that Ford's actions during World War II did not fully align with his earlier sentiments. During the war, Ford Motor Company shifted production to support the Allied forces, manufacturing military vehicles, tanks, and aircraft engines. Ford actively supported the war effort, contributing to the production of essential military equipment. It's unclear whether Ford's wartime contributions were motivated solely by patriotism or a genuine change in his views regarding racial and religious discrimination. Ford's controversial views on race and his connections with Nazi Germany overshadow his legacy. While his contributions to the automotive industry were undeniably significant, it's essential to acknowledge the harm caused by his anti-Semitic writings and beliefs. The consequences of Ford's ideologies are a reminder of the lasting impact that influential individuals can have on society, both for better and for worse. The impact of his views on his legacy and the Ford Company. Legacy of controversy. Henry Ford's controversial views on race and his connections with Nazi Germany profoundly impacted his legacy and the reputation of the Ford Motor Company. While Ford later claimed to have recanted his anti-Semitic beliefs, the consequences of his earlier actions continue to shape public perception. Examining Ford's supposed recantation. In 1942, during World War II, Henry Ford wrote a letter to the Anti-Defamation League expressing his hope for the cessation of hatred against Jews and other racial or religious groups. While this letter may suggest a change in his views, some question the sincerity and authenticity of his statements. Skeptics argue that it was a strategic move to salvage his reputation and mitigate the negative impact of his past actions. Historical perspective on his views and their consequences. Henry Ford's anti-Semitic writings and beliefs had far-reaching consequences. The publication of the International Jew, the World's Problem, perpetuated harmful stereotypes, fueling existing prejudices and contributing to the rise of anti-Semitism. Ford's influence extended beyond the United States, as his writings were translated and disseminated internationally, reinforcing discriminatory attitudes towards Jewish communities. Influence on public perception of Ford and the company's reputation. Ford's tarnished legacy has had implications for the public perception of the man and the company he founded. While his contributions to the automotive industry are acknowledged and appreciated, the shadow of his anti-Semitic views lingers. The association of his name with hatred and prejudice has undoubtedly impacted how Ford is remembered and how the Ford Motor Company is perceived. Efforts to address the legacy. In recent years, the Ford Motor Company has tried to address the legacy of Henry Ford's controversial views. The company has publicly acknowledged and denounced his anti-Semitic writings, emphasizing their inconsistency with the values and principles it upholds today. Ford Motor Company has actively promoted diversity, inclusion, and social responsibility, seeking to distance itself from the discriminatory ideologies of its founder. Balancing legacy and innovation. The Ford Motor Company continues to navigate the complexities of honoring its founder's automotive innovations while grappling with the negative aspects of its legacy. Recognizing the impact of Henry Ford's actions, the company strives to learn from history, promote inclusivity, and contribute positively to society. The Ford Motor Company, aware of the challenges posed by Henry Ford's controversial views, has taken steps to navigate the complexities of its founder's legacy and shape a more inclusive future. The company is committed to fostering inclusivity and diversity in its operations and corporate culture, navigating the legacy of Ford's controversial views. The Ford Motor Company recognizes the impact that Henry Ford's anti-Semitic beliefs and writings have had on its reputation. Rather than shying away from this challenging aspect of its history, the company has confronted it head-on. By openly acknowledging and addressing the founder's problematic legacy, Ford aims to promote transparency, accountability, and growth. Commitment to inclusivity and diversity. In response to the legacy of Henry Ford's controversial views, the Ford Motor Company has implemented policies and initiatives to promote inclusivity and diversity within the organization. It actively seeks to create a workplace that values and respects individuals of different backgrounds, cultures, and identities. By fostering an inclusive environment, the company aims to reflect the diversity of its customers and communities, ensuring that everyone feels welcome and valued. Lessons learned and efforts to shape a more inclusive future. The lessons learned from the Ford Motor Company's history have played a crucial role in shaping its commitment to a more inclusive future. The company understands that progress requires ongoing reflection, learning, and adaptation. By acknowledging the negative impact of its founders' views, Ford seeks to ensure that such attitudes are never repeated or perpetuated within the organization. To shape a more inclusive future, the Ford Motor Company actively engages in community outreach programs, partnerships, and initiatives that promote social justice and equality. It leverages its influence to address systemic issues, advocate for marginalized groups, and support initiatives that advance diversity and inclusivity. The company's commitment to a more inclusive future extends beyond its internal operations. Ford works to develop vehicles and technologies that meet the diverse needs of its global customer base. It recognizes the importance of embracing different perspectives, experiences, and cultural contexts in product development and marketing strategies. By acknowledging the past, learning from it, and committing to a more inclusive future, the Ford Motor Company demonstrates its dedication to ethical business practices and social responsibility. It seeks to ensure that the legacy of Henry Ford's controversial views does not define the company but instead serve as a catalyst for positive change. Henry Ford's impact on the auto industry is undeniable, and his innovative achievements continue to shape the world today. However, it is crucial to acknowledge the darker aspects of his legacy, particularly his anti-Semitic views and connections to Nazi Germany. As we reflect on history, it becomes evident that even great innovators can have flaws that tarnish their reputations. The Ford Company has distanced itself from these controversial views and remains committed to promoting inclusivity and diversity. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing stories from history.